and welcome to this special show on ET Now. I'm Ridu Bhandari and you are watching Voice and Data Telecom Leadership Forum 2015. Recently, the biggest names of the Indian telecom sector converged at New Delhi to discuss and deliberate on the most crucial challenges faced by the telecom sector. Here's all the action.
The Voice and Data Telecom Leadership Forum 2015, held in Delhi, saw industry leaders and bureaucrats sharing a common platform to take stock of the progress made by the sector in the last 12 months. The forum also aimed to crystal gaze into the future to see the challenges and opportunities that lie ahead.
Welcome to the Telecom Leadership Forum, an initiative of Cybermedia and its brand Voice and Data, which annually puts the entire industry together for a discussion on what the challenges are for the telecom industry and what is the way forward. Last year, somewhere around January, we had the extensive session that we had with Mr. Modi. And very broadly, the areas where we had talked about major initiatives, like, high-level ICT task force, the National Digital Literacy Mission, and so on. We talked about better governance, we talked about smart procurement, and we had talked about taxation, which should be industry-friendly. And I think the Prime Minister has done a great thing by rolling a number of those initiatives in the Digital India program. So at one level, Digital India program is addressing the entire connectivity through, the existing USOF initiatives which are already there in terms of connecting to 250,000 villages and so on. So, large number of connectivity, that's one plank. On top of that, what the Prime Minister has done is that he has talked about that there should be literacy, so every home must have one person who is literate. So once you've given the connection, then you should have somebody who's able to use that particular connection. The third part of the entire mission is in terms of ensuring that there is delivery of government services, so a whole lot of e-governance initiatives. And the fourth thing that he has talked about there is in terms of making a responsive government, so the MyGov program. So essentially, at one stroke, what he has done is that he has taken existing programs and he has woven them up into one theme, which is the Digital India theme. We should once again put together a similar paper and once again make a presentation of the Telecom Leadership Forum to the Prime Minister and say, this is what the telecom industry now needs. So welcome once again. Have a great round of discussions, which will culminate into something which is very, very concrete. Thank you very much.
The forum was graced by senior stalwarts like Akhil Gupta, Vice Chairman of Bharti Enterprises, who shared his insights on essential qualities that telecom CEOs must inculcate to be successful.
I think we all know telecom is an industry which is complex. It's also difficult. You have asked me to speak about what the future CEO of a telecom company would look like, or perhaps share based on the past experience, if that has any meaning, of what he should be doing. I think every CEO has got to have a very clear business model and a business delivery model. It needs to be clear what business he is in. Is he into a mass product or a niche product? Is he into content? Is he into a pipe business? Which means the telco versus OTT debate he must settle in his mind. The second important piece is the organization structure that you build. We are all going to deal with highly scaled up businesses, opportunities to scale up further, therefore organization structures become vital. And it is important that the organization structure follows the business model that you decide and the business delivery model that you decide. The second golden rule there, to my mind, is that people and individuals must fit into an organization structure, not the other way around. I think all of us can be accused of this folly that from time to time we try to build an organization structure around a particular individual, which I think is a complete disaster. And my message to the future CEOs from my past experience is, please try and understand technology only to the extent that you can apply it commercially. And I say it deliberately. I think the moment a CEO tries to become a technologist, I think it's disaster. He has got to make sure that the technology in front of him, whether it's IT or networks, how can he apply it for fulfillment of the business model and the objectives that he has set for himself. So some of these things, if a CEO can understand and connect the dots of technology to what the commercial aspects of business are. Customer centricity. A customer pays us money for us to survive. Therefore, centering around him is only logical. But I think a good CEO, to my mind, has got to understand what this customer centricity really means. And I think, at least as per my experience, customer centricity is to understand what he expects from you. What does a customer expect from a telecom company? Very few things. He only wants good coverage, good connectivity all the time, wherever he goes. He wants competitive tariffs, not free, but competitive tariffs with no hidden charge. And he does not want to get a feeling that somebody else is being given a better treatment than him. I think a good CEO anywhere in the world, in any industry, more so in telecom, has to have a good understanding of finance. Any CEO who simply brushes aside finance by saying, oh, my CFO looks after this, be wary. Because if a CEO does not understand the basics, that company will never flourish. So I think to all future telecom professionals, particularly the future telecom CEOs, I feel you are into an industry which remains as exciting, as dynamic, as much of potential as there was. There are very exciting times ahead. Obviously, with the increase in scale, challenges will increase. But if we really keep to the basics, if we keep our eye on the ball, as they say in cricket, you will all emerge fantastic winners. A great future ahead of you. Let's all make the best of it. Thank you very much.
The telecom industry has had to rapidly expand its infrastructure in light of fast-paced developments in the telecommunication space. With the quick evolution of mobile devices, the industry has tried to provide improved quality of services by keeping pace with the required infrastructure development. Telecom companies have also had to innovate and embrace new strategies to help meet this infrastructure requirement, with shared infrastructure being a leading enabler.
Shared infrastructure is an important element of how we can create better viability in the last mile. And telecom sector already demonstrated it by sharing the tower infrastructure. What I spoke about was the need for sharing the infrastructure in the last mile for providing financial access in the rural areas to drive payments and banking and all of what it can go with it to bring financial inclusion in a roundabout way.
The forum also served as a platform for telecom companies to discuss a blueprint for the future. Industry experts highlighted priority areas that the industry needed to focus on to be able to cater to the growing demands of the discerning customer in the digital age.
Digital infrastructure has become probably more important than the physical infrastructure, given the fact that probably India missed the bus on creating a physical infrastructure which is very robust and globally comparable. And therefore, I think we cannot lose the opportunity of creating a very robust digital infrastructure. And while we create that digital infrastructure, there are several ecosystem partners who come and play together. On the access side, on the devices side, on the application and services side, on the analytics side, and on the storage side. So I think all these come together. The whole debate is that given the scenario and the fact that India is truly a mobile first economy, where the only computing device that most Indians carry on themselves is a smartphone. right? And on that phone, a person lives his life, which is around entertainment, security, navigation, health, education, etc., etc. So given this, there is a push and pull between the OTT guys, between the operators, between the device guys, etc., etc. Who is going to win this war with getting customers' attention?
Well, let's take a short break at this point. On the other side, we'll find out how the industry is contributing to the Prime Minister's Digital India mission and the role technology is playing in shaping the Indian telecom sector. Stay with us only on ET Now. Welcome back. You're watching the Voice and Data Telecom Leadership Forum 2015 only on ET Now. One of the key initiatives of the Government of India is its Digital India mission, and the telecom sector is playing a crucial role in developing this campaign. We caught up with S. Anand, COO and Director of Sterlite Technologies, to find out how his company is contributing to making the Digital India dream a reality.
Today, when we have seen when the government comes across in the Innofin project and says that we want to connect so many villages and towns and fibers, and who's ready to provide this fibers, right? And we have the capacity to offer all that, not only on telecom but power. And I think that's one of the biggest thing. And the biggest DNA of an organization is that we had an ability to think ahead of time. 20 years back, when nobody thought about fiber, we had an ability to think about fiber and bring fiber. Say 3 years back, when nobody thought about fiber to home, and but we had an ability to think that yes, fiber to home is going to be the future. And today, when we look at the government coming and saying fiber to home, building a national fiber optic network only enhances our vision that we want to connect every home in this planet.
Technology is the backbone on which telecom companies operate. A Power Pack panel discussed the impact of technology in shaping the ecosystem in the near future, both from an operational and a business standpoint.
How do we as telcos try and bring the best to the industry, best to the customers? So I felt that it brought a variety of angles into the picture, talking not only about IT systems, about bringing in network into it, bringing in about various kinds of organizational changes that need to happen, and ultimately most important, which is extremely close to our heart, is how do we make sure customer is satisfied? How do we make it convenient for the customers? And if we have our eye on the ball with that particular point, I would say the rest of it falls in place pretty easily.
The architectures, which is both the network and the IT architecture. I think operators have been pretty successful building their voice business, but the business has now taken a 180-degree shift, which means the networks, both IT and the network itself, I think they need to evolve to be conducive to a data business or the video business.
A lot of new technologies have been emerging. Some people hear about, some people don't hear about. So people hear about terms like 3G, 4G, LTE and stuff like that. But a lot of things behind the scene, like self-optimizing networks, so on. So many other things that we talk about in the parlances of what we do on a daily basis. All these technologies, at the end of the day, what does it do? It allows us to provide services, quality services to our customers at cheaper and cheaper costs.
With the launch of the Make in India campaign, the government is aiming to give a boost to the manufacturing industry in the country. Dr. Ajay Kumar, Joint Secretary of DATI, spoke of the measures and incentives being offered to the telecom sector in this regard.
This is the same sector 2 years back. There were hardly anyone remaining in the sector, and whoever was remaining, they were closing shop and going. That's a huge change. It is today, more than people who have already come, we have some very major inquiries in process. The companies who are coming are both global and domestic. We find people who were not in India today saying they want to do electronics manufacturing in the country. We find Indian companies, majors who have fairly deep pockets, who are not in the electronic sector, saying they want to do electronics manufacturing and evaluating opportunities. And these are very good trends. Previously, if you were importing, you had better taxes, and there was inverted tax if you were manufacturing. Those have been rationalized in very many telecom products, electronic products, and in others those are in process. In terms of incentives, we have the modified special incentive package scheme MSIPS, which gives 25% cash reimbursement on investments made in the sector. We have the electronics manufacturing cluster scheme, which is for creating state-of-the-art infrastructure, common facilities for electronics manufacturing units. So there are a lot of these schemes which are there, which create a whole ecosystem of support for industries which want to come in this sector.
If we do an analogy with automobile, Make in India happened about 20 years back, and it happened very successfully. Even small companies are supplying to world-class manufacturers, and that also brought suppliers together and manufacturers also together. I am confident if the right environment is provided, similar thing will happen in telecom, and there is no dearth of skills, there is no dearth of commitment, there is no dearth of direction. To my mind, once this initiative has been taken, I think it will go pretty well in the interest of community as well as in the interest of service providers also.
Well, let's head into another short break at this point, but don't go anywhere, because on the other side, we're bringing you all the action from the Voice and Data TLF Awards. Stay with us on ET Now. Welcome back. You are watching the Voice and Data Telecom Leadership Forum 2015 only on ET Now. One of the defining visions of the Government of India is to develop smart cities across the country. A smart city would require digital technologies to enhance performance and will empower its citizens to engage efficiently and actively with the government. Let's listen in to industry and government voices on this subject.
Smart city thing is
The Voice and Data Telecom Leadership Forum saw members of the government, telecom bodies as well as industry experts come together to gauge the enormity of this task, as well as ponder on the role of the industry in providing infrastructure support to build smart cities.
So I think the point to begin in definition is saying is that what do governments want to achieve for the enhancement of their citizens? What type of values and improvements and enhancements in the life of the citizen do you really want to achieve? And that forms the core. Based on that, whether it be garbage removal, improved air quality, traffic management, governance, getting your certificates, all of that I think will ride on our networks.
So all the sensors, wireless sensors which we're going to put for home security, for crime detection, as well as sensors to detect smart metering and also smart meters as such, will be all provided through the wireless sensors provided by the telecom industry.
There are Internet of Things, which is order of the day. In that Internet of Things, most of the sensors which can measure a lot of things which are good for the good living of the citizen, like normal waste management, inventory management, disaster management, rain, water, then energy, electricity, transmission, distribution. All these will can be measured, monitored, and informed decision can be taken.
Finally, it was time for the Telecom Leadership Forum Awards, where paragons of excellence in the Indian telecom industry were felicitated for their achievements.
Good evening, everyone. I would first of all thank all of Voice and Data and all the organizers, sponsors, and honorary members here. I'm extremely thankful to my own management, Reliance Communications and Reliance Group, for allowing us to do certain things as entrepreneurs and making sure that every little bit of Make in India actually comes true. So again, I thank you significantly for giving me this opportunity, and all the best to everyone. Thank you.
Good evening. First of all, I want to thank the jury and the Voice and Data for this recognition, which is a very proud moment for me and my team, because I actually stand up here taking an award for a lot of the work and the innovation that my team has actually put in. Once again, thank you very much.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I have to acknowledge a great amazement. I'm surprised that I receive an award for something I have loved doing. It's 21 years now in the sector. People talk of challenges, so many hazards, regulatory hazards, government-derived, industry-derived, so on and so forth. We have seen plenty. The list is too long for me to go through. I think the best is yet to be. So I'm simply not at all deterred by any of the tasks before us. I'm sure you will all do it. My best wishes to you all, and thanks a million for everything that you have done for me. It's the other way around. I need to give presents to all of you. Thank you.
Having this recognition is a sigh of relief. It is the best thing that can happen post an auction. So thank you so much for timing it all the very, very best. And I look forward to make sure that the responsibility which has been bestowed on me, we can maintain it through over the next year, 2015-2016. Thank you so much.
This is my first time at Technology Leadership Forum, and I'm really happy that I came and made this trip from US. What I really liked about it is small, but the quality of the attendees was really good. I mean, typically I just went to Mobile World Congress where we had about 90,000 attendees here. I can tell you I had probably much higher impact meetings out here with the attendees that you had.
Well, that's all we have from the Voice and Data Telecom Leadership Forum 2015. We hope you enjoyed this special show. Until next time, it's goodbye.